Hello people, in this video we want to look at the fractures or injuries that happen because of fall on outstretched hand. Okay, so basically when we fall, we try to protect ourselves. Our defense, it will be putting our hand. Okay, we'll try to put the hand first and protect our heart, lungs, stomach and all those vital organs, right? So this is why that this injury becomes more. Outstretched hand. So, guys, anybody will tell what parts will get fractured, right? You can guess, isn't it? All these bones can get fractured. The clavicle, the scapula, the humerus, the elbow joint, the radius, the ulna, the wrist joint, the carpals, the metacarpals, the phalanges, right? Then even this shoulder joint can get dislocated, very common. And then the sternum, wherever you have the sternum, right, there also some fracture can happen. So this is all the fractures that happen because of a fall on outstretched hand. Now let us look at the fracture of the clavicle. So the junction between the middle and the outer third of the clavicle is the most common site of clavicular fracture. So where is the clavicle? Let's zoom in and see what they are trying to say here. The clavicle, you divide it into three parts, okay. So the three parts when you divide, this is the middle and this is the outer, right? So between the middle and the outer third, this point is where the junction between the middle and the outer third is where it is going to fracture very commonly, okay? So that is the common site of fracture. Junction of the middle and the outer third of the clavicle is the commonest site of clavicle fracture. But it will unite easily. Anyways, just one of the solutions is this figure of 8 bandage, okay? A lot of other solutions are there. So let's move forward, guys. If you want to learn more about clavicle fracture, you will have to look at a separate video on that. Now scapula also can get fractured. Okay, so this is the scapula that you're seeing here. This wing shaped. This is the scapula, and this also can get fractured. Now in this, what and all parts can get fractured? The body, the neck, the acromion process, the coracoid process. So many things of the scapula can get fractured. Okay, but this is all rare. Okay, scapula and all rare. Scapula and this sternoclavicular joint, all these are rare, okay. Now fracture of scapula, how will you treat? Triangular sling, etc. Okay. So now let's go to the next one, sternoclavicular joint. Okay, so where's the clavicle? Let's go back to that image here. So where is the clavicle? So here you have the clavicle. And here you have the sternum. So the sternoclavicular joint also, there can be dislocation. Okay, dislocation can be there. Okay. So what else can happen on outstretched hand? The subluxation or dislocation of the acromioclavicular joint. Okay. So the acromioclavicular joint, that means something to do with the clavicle and the scapula. That junction. Okay. So here you can see the clavicle, isn't it? Where is the clavicle? Here is the clavicle. So this is the clavicle, right? And from behind you are getting the acromion process. So the acromioclavicular joint. So the acromion process is of the scapula. So this joint also can get subluxated or dislocated. Okay. So that is yet another thing that can happen because of fallen outstretched hand. Now let's proceed forward. What will happen next? After your shoulder joint, touch and see what is there. Your humerus. So there can be fracture of the humerus, right? Now let us talk about this one. Supracondylar fracture of the humerus. See, shaft of humerus we finished. Now coming down a little more, supracondylar fracture of humerus. So where is that? Here. So humerus, so shaft of humerus fracture can happen. Okay, that people understood. Now supracondylar, this is medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle. So two condyles. Above that you have the supracondylar. So here the fracture happens. Where are we talking about? Which fracture? Here. Supracondylar fracture of the humerus is very important because it's a very serious fracture. It can lead to a lot of problems. So basically, see, shaft of humerus, it will lead to wrist drop, etc. That and all you will write. Now coming to supracondylar fracture, this is what we are talking about. Most serious fracture in childhood. Basically, this can lead to Volkmann ischemia because brachial artery can get crushed, and this can further lead to Volkmann ischemic contracture. VIC it is called as. That is why it is a very serious fracture. So it can have so many displacements like this that they have shown, and this is what you have to write in the exam. Okay, Boltzmann ischemic contracture, etc. Separately on this topic we have a video, you can watch that. Now what comes after your supracondylar fracture of humerus? Just touch below. You have your elbow. Elbow, no, just come little below your elbow. That is where you will have you can have your Monteggia fracture dislocation. That is upper third of the ulna with dislocation of the head of radius. Okay, let's look at this. So Monteggia is fracture of upper third of ulna and dislocation of radius. Okay, that is Monteggia. So you will have to look at that video separately. Similar to Monteggia, just look at Monteggia for now. First, let's look at Monteggia and understand it. See here, Monteggia, near the elbow there is fracture, and what is fractured here? It's the ulna that is fractured. Can you see? It's the ulna that is fractured. Dislocated head of radius. Head of radius is dislocated. Okay, but it is the ulna which is fractured. This is Monteggia. Okay, ulna is in red. See, ulna is the one that is fractured. Now, proceeding further, look at this one. Galeazzi fracture dislocation, lower third of radius with dislocation or subluxation of the distal radioulnar joint. You are coming near the wrist almost now because it's the distal radioulnar joint. What is fractured here? The radius, okay, and the lower third of radius. So look at this. So this is near your wrist joint actually now. So here you can see the radius should be fractured. Okay, the radius, see, this is the radius, styloid process of the radius, right? This is what they call it. See, there it is broken. Okay, the radius is fractured and the ulna is dislocated, and it is the distal radioulnar joint. Okay, subluxation, lower third of radius with dislocation or subluxation of the distal radioulnar joint, Galeazzi. Okay, then after that what will come? Wrist, obviously, fractures around the wrist. Especially this you can see in elderly women after menopause, they will have osteoporosis. So Cole's fracture, what will you see? You will see this type of dinner fork deformity. So what dislocation is there here? Dorsal shift, right? Dorsal shift is there. This is dorsal. Dorsal shift, dorsal tilt, right? Radial shift, radial tilt. Dorsal shift, dorsal tilt, and proximal. That's why there will be dinner fork deformity. Dinner fork deformity will be there in Cole's fracture. Smith's fracture is just the reverse. Okay, there will be ventral shift. Okay, tilt ventral. This will be ventral shift and tilt. Cole's will be dorsal tilt, dorsal shift and tilt. So what will happen in Smith's fracture, because it is ventral shift, so you can understand because of this ventral shift, in this there can be carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome can happen in Smith's fracture. See, we are talking about what? Fall on outstretched hand. So you should not talk only about fractures, you should also talk about the complications, right? So there can be carpal tunnel syndrome is yet another complications of a fall on an outstretched hand. Okay, guys, are you focusing? Is it okay? How is it going? What are we looking at? Fall on outstretched hand. Now look at this, Barton's fracture. What is Barton's fracture, guys? Barton's fracture they have shown here. You can look at this. Barton's fracture is where there is styloid process of radius. The part of it is broken, looks like. Styloid process of radius, is it? Intra-articular fracture of the distal radius. The intra-articular fracture of distal radius. Then scaphoid fracture and lunate dislocation. These are the carpal bones, isn't it? See, in this they are showing the fracture of the scaphoid. And in this other image, they are showing you the lunate dislocation. Okay. Good. So a lot of other things can happen. So now let's take, what else is there now? Oh, hand also can get injured. Okay. Because hand is also a part, right, of your upper limb, so it will also get fractured if you are falling on outstretched hand. Hand means hand only, yeah, very important. Bennett's fracture. So you can see here, Bennett's fracture, dislocation fixed with K wire they are showing. So this is the Bennett's fracture. So what exactly is fractured in this Bennett's fracture? Let's check. So the base of the first metacarpal with subluxation or dislocation of the metacarpal. So what is injured here? Intra-articular fracture of the base of the first metacarpal with subluxation or dislocation of the same metacarpal looks like. Okay, first metacarpal you understand. Okay, first metacarpal. Then after this, what do you have? You have Rollando's fracture. What is this Rollando's fracture? So very difficult to say don't fall on your outstretched hand because you are protecting yourself. So, but if you are going to fall, what are the things that will happen? Rollando's fracture, complete articular T or Y-shaped fracture of the first metacarpal. Again, here also same thing only. First metacarpal only. This is T or Y shaped. Okay, of the first metacarpal. So first metacarpal is attaching to what? To the thumb, right? So where is the metacarpal here? Here. First metacarpal. So here two fractures. Bennett fracture, Rollando's fracture. Okay. So still some more are there. We are not done yet. Look at this. Fractures of the metacarpals can happen. Yes, we already told you of the first metacarpal. They are given special names. I think of the other metacarpals. Then phalanges can get fractured, guys. There is something here called as mallet's finger. Baseball finger. Look at this. The fracture of the phalanx they are showing. Mallet finger, baseball finger. If there is sudden passive flexion of the distal interphalangeal joint. So what will happen? The extensor tendon of the distal interphalangeal joint is avulsed from its insertion. So, okay. So this is the mallet finger or baseball finger. So that is, each of this topic can be a huge topic in themselves, right? Each of these headings. So anyways, we will not go too much in details. Dislocation of the metacarpophalangeal joint. So there can be dislocation of this joint, obviously, the metacarpal and the phalanx joint. Where is the metaphalanx? Metaphalanx is here. Okay, this is the metacarpal and this is the phalanx. So this joint, metacarpophalangeal joint, MP joint, if they say MP joint, actually M and P is on the side, okay, MP joint. So this MP joint can get dislocated, okay. Then tendon injuries can happen, muscle injuries can happen, nerve injuries can happen, wrist drop can happen, claw hand can happen, all that you write, okay. Nerve injuries can happen, all that you will write, right. Nerve injuries can happen, carpal tunnel syndrome can happen. Okay, just write all the nerve injuries, guys. Okay, then write tendon injuries, etc. Then crush injury you write, muscle injury you write, all the injuries you write, artery injury you write, everything you write. Okay. So if they ask you fall on outstretched hand, you'll have to write everything. Nerve injuries, muscle injury, then artery, vessel injury, all this you will write. Okay. So now let us take a recap of this topic. What are we looking at? We are looking at fall on outstretched hand. What and all injuries will happen if you fall on an outstretched hand? Why do we fall on an outstretched hand? Because it is our defense. We are trying to protect our heart, lung, main vital organs we are trying to protect. So we will put the hand out first. So that is why it is very common to see the fractures of the upper limb. So what and all will get fractured? Clavicle will get fractured, scapula can get fractured, humerus can get fractured, your radius can get fractured, ulna can get fractured, your carpals can get fractured, metacarpals can get fractured, phalanges can get fractured, right? And when it comes to joints, they can get dislocated or subluxated. So dislocation of the claviculosternal joint, the acromioclavicular joint can get dislocated. The shoulder joint, very commonly dislocated joint in the body is the shoulder joint, can get dislocated. Then what else are they saying here? All these dislocations of the metacarpophalangeal joint can happen, right? So you should tell all this. Now let us look at individual things. So fracture of clavicle, the commonest point is the junction between the middle and out third of the clavicle. It's the commonest site of clavicular fracture. Then coming to scapula. Scapula, so many parts are there for getting fractured, the acromion process, the body, neck, etc., etc. This is rare though. Then coming to the sternoclavicular joint, we told you there can be dislocation, right? Then coming to the acromioclavicular joint, again there can be subluxation, dislocation. The dislocation of the shoulder is very common. It's the most common joint in the human body to dislocate. The anterior dislocation is more common, okay? Anterior dislocation of the shoulder is more common than the posterior, okay? Then shaft of humerus can fracture, there can be wrist drop, there can be nerve injuries, etc. There can be supracondylar fracture of the humerus. Especially in children, this is a very serious fracture. You can see here supracondylar fracture. So basically we have separate video on all these. Basically this can lead to Volkmann ischemic contracture. So it's a more serious fracture of childhood. Then coming little more down after the humerus, what do you have? Elbow. Elbow, you can have Monteggia fracture, in which there is a fracture of the ulna and dislocation of the radius. Then coming to the Galeazzi fracture, here it is the distal radius, lower third of the radius, which is fractured with the dislocation or subluxation of the distal radioulnar joint. Then coming to the wrist, around the wrist, what and all can happen? You have seen especially in elderly women post-menopause because of osteoporosis, just a small fall on the outstretched hand can cause Cole's fracture, where there is dorsal shift and tilt. And Smith's fracture is the reverse, where there can be ventral shift or tilt. Ventral shift can lead to carpal tunnel syndrome because of median nerve compression. Barton's fracture is where you have the distal radius, the intra-articular fracture of the distal radius, okay, that is Barton's fracture. Then you have the scaphoid fracture, where you have the fracture of the carpal bone scaphoid. Then you have the lunate dislocations that can happen. Then as the name suggests, fall on outstretched hand means obviously hand injury should be there. So you have the Bennett's fracture, where you have the fracture of the base of the first metacarpal, that means your thumb, whatever is connecting your thumb, right, that first metacarpal. Rolando's fracture can happen, T or Y-shaped fracture of the first metacarpal. These two are for the first metacarpal. Remaining, I think they have just put it under fracture of the metacarpals. Then you have fracture of the phalanges, which can lead to this mallet finger, baseball finger. Then dislocation can happen of these metacarpophalangeal joint. There can be dislocation of this MP joint. Tendon injuries can happen. Crush injuries of the hand can happen. Whenever you fall in an outstretched hand, you can injure so many nerves. What are the nerves that you will injure? Median nerve. Ulnar nerve can lead to claw hand. Median ulnar together can lead to ape hand. And then you have the radial nerve injury, which can lead to wrist drop. Muscles, all the muscles you can list as which and all the muscles can get affected. Crush injury, compartment syndrome, vessel injury, Volkmann ischemic contracture we have shown you. So checking the pulse is very important, right? Pulses you should check so that there is no ischemia, okay? So this is all about fall on outstretched hand. Each of this topic is a very, very vast topic which you'll have to learn from separate video, okay? Bye-bye.